Hello everyone, Wayne Tucker here. In this next video, I want to talk about my experience with labor relations and union experience. So I've worked with number of different unions in several different provinces, including Alberta, Ontario, and Nova Scotia. So in Nova Scotia, it's been NSGEU when I worked at the North End Community Health Center. A couple of the things that I've participated in over the years in working with the various unions is at times I've had opportunity to sit on a number of committees, kind of an association where management and unions will get together, often maybe on a quarterly basis, and talk about a number of outstanding issues and to resolve those issues in a mutually satisfactory manner. So it's a good opportunity for some of these meetings. It's a formal agenda, but it's a good opportunity to establish a good relationship with the unions and to kind of deal with some issues that before they get to a kind of a grievance phase. So rather than wait to get to that point, sometimes these associations or these meetings between the union and the management can help resolve some of these issues before they get to that point. So I think one of the important things is want to point out is over the years working with across different provinces with different unions is setting up that relationship and having a good relationship with the unions. I think can go a long way. Obviously, the two perspectives can be very different, and there can be very much differences in points of concern or issues. But I think having a good relationship and can go a long way in resolving many issues. So, if you got that kind of adversarial relationship with a union all the time, I don't think it's going to help the relationship, and it can result in a lot more grievances. Whereas I think if you have a good relationship with the union, mutual respect with the unions, and same with unions with management, I think you can resolve a lot more issues informally without it ever getting to the point of requiring a formal grievance. Now, sometimes you will get to that point, where a grievance will be filed. So I've had many years' experience going to grievance meetings and participating in those meetings and giving my position on why I decided to take a particular position on an issue that might go to a grievance. Sometimes this could be approval for time off, for example, and it's been agreed that the employee should have had the time off, and you explained at the meeting from my perspective that we were short-staffed and just were not able to approve that request at that time. So you present your case. Sometimes often you kind of go into early stages of the grievance, where it's just yourself and the union kind of talking through the issues and see if you can come to a grievance before it kind of goes on to the next phase of a grievance process. So I've been involved with the collective bargaining in a number of different ways over the years. So I've been involved with it in the preparing stage, because I think before you go into collective bargaining, it's important that you kind of do a lot of planning. So you kind of got to think about what are going to be your priorities. Just like when you go in there, you're not going to get, you're not going to come out of collective bargaining from a management perspective and get everything that you thought you wanted or would like to get. That would be great, but it's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. So, you work with your management team, and I've been part of this where you kind of go through, you come up with a number of different priorities that are issues that are important that you would like to see built into the collective agreement, or things you'd like to see changed or modified in the collective agreement. So we'll kind of go through, I've been part of this and you kind of, first thing is to table all the different issues. So everybody at the management table might have a number of different points of things they would like to see changed in the next round of collective bargaining and the collective agreement. And you kind of just throw out all those issues, write them all down, and then start going through them as a management team, deciding which ones are going to be the priority for you. So, which is going to be, so basically ranking them, which is the ones that, be great if you could get that changed or added to the collective agreement, but it's not your top priority, it's much lower on the list. And you're certainly going to want some of that. You're going to want to things that you're going to table during collective bargaining, but hope you can get it. But if you don't get it, it's no big concern. Then again, you're going to start moving up that priority list and get to things that you're really going to want to add to have built into collective agreement or change, or issues that are extremely important from a management perspective. And those are going to be the ones that you're going to push back a lot farther and dig in. I think these are changes that you're going to want coming out of the collective bargaining process. That doesn't mean the way you've written it or envisioned it that it won't change. So you got to be prepared that when you go into collective bargaining, that some of the things that are priority for you, a top priority, does happen, but it might get tweaked. It might get modified a little bit, so it may not come out at the end of collective bargaining the way you thought it was when you went in. So you've got to be prepared that some of these changes and these tweaks are going to happen even for your more important issues or high priority issues. In terms of my role with it, I've been on kind of various parts of it. So I've done that pre-planning phase of coming up with priority issues. I've been involved with the collective bargaining process itself, going through the collective agreement with the unions, with their union reps and the management, as well as the legal representation for the management side. So I've been through that process with NSGU when I worked at the North End Community Health Center. So it's kind of various years of that kind of experience in multiple positions. So I've already talked about some of the other things I kind of want to just go through. Also is the fact that it is a process that you got to be patient with. It's not, collective bargaining, it takes a fair bit of work. It can go on for months, if not longer. So it takes a lot of give and take back and forth before you come out the other end with a final copy of the collective agreement. So certainly got to be a lot of patience in the process. The other part I want to kind of touch on is just various day-to-day issues that might come up with the collective agreement. So often, you will have to get back to employees about something regards of that's tapped into the collective agreement. So it might be, for example, priority for who gets off, priority for vacation. So you'll be checking your collective agreement on a regular basis to see and make sure that you follow that collective agreement, which I can't emphasize enough. That I've worked at organizations where sometimes they get really loose in following the collective agreement, which I don't think is a great idea, because that collective agreement there is for both the benefit of the union and it's the employees, as well as for management. So I think it's important that we follow the collective agreement, but consistently, and not having a lot of side agreements outside the collective agreement, which I think is a bad idea. So I've been part of that process, checking the collective agreement on a regular basis, checking up on things, as a request come in for, bereavement leave and vacation approval, and lots of many different issues. So I've been that kind of day-to-day contact person for my staff, as well as I've been the contact person for the attorney that represents the management side. So on various positions, I've been one of the contacts or the main contact. We're working with our legal representation, legal rep, so our attorney during contract negotiations, as well as sometimes it could be a smaller issue that it's part. For example, if there's been a grievance procedure, often we'll get consultation with our union as well in that process. So kind of many years of experience working with the labor relations and the union experience. I've worked with a number of unions, including, like I mentioned earlier, NSGU, Acute, unions, nursing unions as well. And I think it's been part of the relationship of or part of the process of building that relationship. And I mentioned it earlier in this video, but it's important to kind of understand the importance of that mutual role, or the, what we're process between, or the procedures between the management and the union. But as I said earlier in the video, I think a lot can come out of having a good relationship, and that can help resolve many different issues that can come up during the process. And you can resolve it long before having to get to a grievance procedure or anything like that. Okay, well, thank you very much. Bye.